I died on a Tuesday. At least, that's what everyone thought. My heart was beating, my lungs were breathing. But according to every doctor, every nurse, every person who looked at me lying in that hospital bed, I was gone, brain dead. A body waiting for someone to make the decision to let it stop. Except I wasn't gone. I was right there, trapped inside my own skull, screaming without sound, drowning in a silence no one else could hear. And that's when I heard my husband tell his mistress exactly how he'd tried to kill me. My name is Diana Pierce. I'm 32 years old, and this is the story of how I came back from the dead to destroy the man I loved. 3 weeks ago, I was driving home from my shift at Roosevelt Elementary, where I teach 4th grade. It was raining, the kind of Seattle downpour that turns the I-5 into a skating rink. I was careful, going 50 in the right lane, exactly like I'd done 1,000 times before. Then I pressed the brake pedal. Nothing. I pressed harder. Still nothing. My car flew toward the truck ahead of me, brake lights glowing through the rain like demon eyes. I yanked the wheel right, lost control, and slammed into the concrete barrier at full speed. Everything went black. When I woke up, or became aware, I should say, I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't even blink. I could only hear the beeping of machines and feel the tube force down my throat, breathing for me because my body had forgotten how. The doctors said I was in a coma, then a vegetative state. They threw around terms like minimal brain activity and unlikely to recover while standing right next to my bed like I was already a corpse. My husband Ryan played his part perfectly. He held my hand. He cried. He told me he loved me and begged me to come back to him. What an actor. It was day 5 when she first came to visit. How is she? Victoria's voice was soft, dripping with fake concern. Victoria Chen, Ryan's executive assistant, 26, ambitious, and apparently very good at her job, if her job description included sleeping with her boss. No change, Ryan said. I heard him sigh. The doctors say even if she wakes up, she'll have severe brain damage. There was a pause. Then I felt the bed shift as someone sat down. I hate seeing you like this, Victoria whispered. But she wasn't talking to me. This must be so hard on you. You know what the worst part is? Ryan's voice was closer now. Part of me thinks it would be easier if she just didn't wake up. My blood would have run cold if I could feel it. Don't say that, Victoria said, but there was something hollow in her protest. I mean it, Ryan continued. Even if she survives, she won't be Diana anymore. She'll need constant care. It would be cruel to keep her alive like that. I wanted to scream, wanted to thrash, wanted to grab him by the throat and show him I was still here, still me, still very much alive and aware of every word coming out of his lying mouth. When do you think they'll let you decide? Victoria asked quietly. About the life support? Oh God, they were discussing unplugging me. My own husband and his mistress were standing over my supposedly unconscious body, planning my death. Another week or 2, Ryan said. I have medical power of attorney. The doctor said if there's no improvement, I can make the call to let her go peacefully. That must be such a burden, Victoria murmured. I heard rustling fabric. She was moving closer to him. It is, but I think Diana would want me to be happy again, to move on. Move on. Like I was already gone. Like 8 years of marriage meant nothing. Then I heard it. The unmistakable sound of them kissing. Right there, not 5 feet from my paralyzed body, my husband was kissing another woman while discussing how soon he could legally kill me. They stayed another 10 minutes talking in low voices about his schedule, about a client meeting, about how he should get some rest. They kissed again before leaving. And I lay there in the dark, alone with machines, and the knowledge that my husband was a monster. Over the next week, Ryan and Victoria visited regularly. Always together. Always playing their roles when staff were around. The devoted husband, the supportive assistant. But when they thought no one could hear them, they let their masks slip. I learned everything. The affair had started 9 months ago at a conference in Vancouver. They'd been sleeping together ever since, in hotels, at her apartment, even in our house when I worked late. "I can't wait until we don't have to hide anymore," Victoria said one afternoon. "Soon," Ryan promised, "once everything is settled." Settled? That's what he called my death. Getting things settled. They talked about their plans. Ryan would sell our house, the Craftsman in Capitol Hill that I'd saved for years to buy. They'd get a downtown condo with a view, travel to Thailand, a trip we'd planned together. Victoria would finally get to wear my jewelry, the diamond pendant Ryan gave me for our anniversary. "Did you bring the necklace?" Victoria asked one day. "Yeah, try it on." I heard her gasp. "It's beautiful. The diamonds are even bigger than in the photos." That necklace. He told me it symbolized his eternal love. Now he was giving it to his mistress while I lay dying. The rage that burned through me was unlike anything I'd ever felt. But all I could do was lie there and absorb it. Every cruel word, every dismissal of our life together, every excited plan for a future built on my grave. It was day 8 when everything changed. Ryan and Victoria came in late that evening. A nurse had just finished checking my vitals and left. "How was the meeting with the lawyer?" Victoria asked. "Really good," Ryan said. "Let me walk you through it. The life insurance is $2 million. Pays out for accidental death, no problem. The house is worth about $1.5 million, no mortgage. Her retirement account has $400K. Her school district policy is another $500K. All told, we're looking at about $4.5 million. $4.5 million. My life reduced to a payout schedule." "Oh my God, Ryan," Victoria breathed. "That's incredible." "I know. We'll be set for life. You can quit that job you hate. We'll buy that penthouse you showed me. Travel wherever we want." They laughed. Actually laughed about spending my death benefits. "When will the insurance pay out?" Victoria asked. "About 30 days after she's declared dead, or I withdraw life support. The house will take longer to sell, but I can list it immediately." "Have you thought about the funeral?" "Keep it small. Cremation is cheaper than burial, and I don't want to have to visit some grave and pretend to grieve. My family. God, what would this do to my mom? My sister Kate, who was Ryan's friend first?" "What about her things?" Victoria asked. "Donate the clothes, keep the jewelry for you, sell the furniture. I want a fresh start. No reminders." No reminders. That's all I was now, an inconvenient reminder of a life he wanted to erase. "I love you," Victoria said softly. "I love you too," Ryan replied. "Honestly, part of me is relieved. I was going to have to divorce her eventually. This way is cleaner. No splitting assets, no drama. The accident was almost convenient." Convenient. He called my near-death convenient. And then Victoria said the words that changed everything. "Did the mechanic do what you asked? Or was it really just bad luck?" The room went silent except for the beeping monitors and my ragged breathing through the ventilator. My mind was screaming. He did this. Ryan did this to me. The brakes didn't just fail, he sabotaged my car. "Victoria," Ryan said, his tone warning. "What? She can't hear us. You said she's basically brain dead." Another pause. Then his voice quiet and cold. "Yeah, I had it done. Found a guy who owed me a favor. He weakened the brake lines just enough that they'd fail under pressure. I knew you'd be on the highway that night. It was supposed to look like an accident." Oh God, he really did it. He really tried to murder me. "That's brilliant," Victoria said with admiration. "Were you worried about getting caught?" "A little. But brake failure in the rain is common enough. The cops barely investigated. They didn't even examine the brake lines closely. The whole front end was destroyed in the crash." They kissed again. I could hear it. Could hear them celebrating my attempted murder. I had to tell someone. Had to find a way to communicate. But how? The answer came the next morning. Her name was Grace Martinez, a night shift ICU nurse in her early 30s. Unlike the others who treated me like a vegetable to be watered, Grace always talked to me like I was a person. "Good morning, Diana," she said cheerfully. "Let's get you cleaned up." She moved around the room, checking machines, adjusting my IV. Then she leaned in to suction my ventilator tube. "This might be uncomfortable, honey. Just try to—" She stopped. "Diana, are you crying?" I was. Tears I couldn't control streaming down my face. The only way my body could express the hell I was trapped in. "Oh, sweetie," Grace said gently, wiping my tears. "I know this must be scary. Wherever you are?" She paused, studying my face. "Wait." She pulled up a chair and looked directly at me. "Diana, I'm going to ask you something crazy. Can you hear me? If you understand me, try to blink. Just once." Could I blink? I'd never tried. I focused everything I had on my right eyelid. Every ounce of strength. Blink. Please, blink. My eyelid fluttered. Grace's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God! Diana, you can hear me. Do it again." I did. Another small flutter. "Oh my God," she whispered. "You're in there. You've been conscious this whole time." She stood quickly. "I need to get the doctor." No, she couldn't. Not while Ryan had medical power of attorney. Not while he could still pull the plug. Grace must have seen the panic in my eyes because she sat back down. "Wait, are you scared? Blink once, for yes." One blink. "Is something wrong?" One blink. Okay, we'll figure this out. Can you move your eyes left and right?" I tried. My eyes shifted slightly left, then right. "Perfect. I'll be right back with a letterboard." 20 minutes later, we started the painstaking process. Grace would point to sections of letters. I'd blink when she hit the right one. Letter by letter, I spelled it out. DANGER. "You're in danger? From who?" HUSBAND. Grace's face went pale. "Ryan? But he's been here every day." Over the next 3 hours, I told her everything. The affair, the insurance money, the plans for my funeral. And finally, HEHIREDSOMEONETOCUTMYBRAKES. Grace sat back, her face white. "He tried to kill you, for insurance money." One blink. "Yes." "When do they visit again?" TONIGHT. Grace looked at the clock. It was 6 p.m. Ryan usually came around 7. "Okay," she said, her voice determined. "I believe you, Diana, and we're going to catch them. I'm going to record them. If they say anything incriminating, we'll have proof." She hid her phone behind the water pitcher, microphone exposed, but the phone hidden. "It's recording," she whispered. "Stay calm. I'll be right outside." At 7:15, the door opened. "Hey, babe," Ryan said, performing for anyone watching. "Any changes today?" Silence as he checked my chart. "Still nothing," he said flatly. "It's been almost 2 weeks." "When can you talk to the doctors?" Victoria asked. "Soon. The neurologist is assessing her tomorrow. If he confirms no brain activity, I can withdraw life support." "And then?" "Then we wait. She'll pass within hours once we remove the ventilator. Then we start the paperwork." They were casually discussing killing me, right in front of me, and Grace's phone was recording every word. "I can't wait to start our real life," Victoria said. "The penthouse, the trips." "On her insurance money," Ryan finished. "Why not? She won't need it." My heart monitor beeped faster. Say it again, I thought. Confess again. "Do you ever feel guilty?" Victoria asked. "About what you did? Come on, say it." "Guilty? Not really," Ryan said. "Our marriage was dead anyway. This way is just cleaner. She doesn't have to suffer through a divorce. I keep everything. And honestly, the guy I hired did a perfect job on those brake lines. Quick, clean, looked totally accidental." There it was, a full confession. "You're right," Victoria said. "I don't know why I'm being weird about it." They stayed another 10 minutes, then left. Grace rushed back in, grabbed her phone, and listened with headphones. I watched her face transform. Shock, disgust, fury. "I've got them," she said, tears in her eyes. "I've got everything. I'm calling the police and the doctor. You have locked-in syndrome, Diana. You're fully conscious. Your brain is fine. Ryan can't make any decisions about your care anymore. You're a conscious patient with rights." For the first time in 2 weeks, I felt hope. Dr. Okoye, the neurologist, came in 30 minutes later. He ran tests, asked me to blink and move my eyes, confirmed what Grace had discovered. "Remarkable," he kept saying. "Classic locked-in syndrome. Full consciousness, but almost complete paralysis." Then Grace told him about Ryan, about the affair, about the confession. Dr. Okoye's face darkened. "I'm calling the police immediately, and we need to contact her family, someone other than her husband." "Mysisterkate," I spelled out, then her phone number. Kate arrived in 20 minutes, crying when she saw me, devastated when they told her everything. "He tried to kill you? Ryan tried to murder you?" One blink. Yes. 2 detectives arrived next, Sanchez and Liu. They listened to the recording, their expressions growing darker. "This is good," Detective Sanchez said, "but we need physical evidence. The car needs to be examined." "What about Ryan?" Kate asked. "Are you arresting him?" "We need to be strategic," Detective Liu said. "If we arrest him now, his lawyer will fight the recording. But if we can get him to confess again to us, it's game over." They laid out the plan. Tomorrow, Dr. Okoye would call Ryan in to discuss withdrawing life support. But instead of signing papers, Ryan would walk into a room full of police officers, and if they were lucky, he'd hang himself with his own words. "Diana," Detective Liu asked, "can you pretend to be unconscious one more time? Let Ryan think nothing has changed?" One blink, I could do it. I'd survived 2 weeks of hell. I could handle one more day. Kate stayed with me that night, holding my hand, talking to me about everything I'd missed, about Mom and Dad's anniversary trip, about her kids, about how everyone at school was praying for me. "Tomorrow," she whispered, "we're going to destroy him." The next morning, Dr. Okoye called Ryan at 9 a.m. "Mr. Pierce, I need you to come in at 2 p.m. It's time to discuss Diana's prognosis and your options." Ryan arrived at 1:55, looking tired but impatient, ready to finally finish what he'd started. Dr. Okoye was waiting with 2 detectives positioned where Ryan couldn't immediately see them. "Mr. Pierce, please sit down." Ryan sat in the chair next to my bed, the same chair Victoria had sat in when they discussed my jewelry. "How is she?" he asked. "No change," Dr. Okoye lied smoothly. "I've run extensive tests. The scans show minimal brain activity. She's in a persistent vegetative state with no likelihood of recovery." I wanted to open my eyes and scream at the lie, but I stayed still, kept my breathing even, played dead. "So, what are my options?" Ryan asked. "You have medical power of attorney. You can decide to withdraw life support. She would pass peacefully within hours." "And you recommend that?" "I think it's your decision, but her quality of life, even if she somehow woke up, would be severely compromised." Ryan nodded slowly. "Diana and I talked about this years ago. She said she'd never want to be kept alive by machines. I think it's time to let her go." "Are you certain? This is permanent." "I'm certain. It's what she would want. And honestly, seeing her like this for 2 weeks has been torture. For both of us." "There's one thing," Dr. Okoye said. "Before we proceed, the police have been examining her car. Routine investigation for accidents with severe injuries. They found something unusual." Ryan's face paled slightly. "Unusual?" "The brake lines were deliberately cut." Ryan went very still. That's impossible. It was an accident. The brakes just failed." Detective Sanchez stepped forward. "Mr. Pierce, I'm Detective Sanchez. We examined the wreckage. The brake lines weren't worn, they were sabotaged. Someone tried to kill your wife. Who would want to hurt Diana? She's a teacher. Everyone loves her. That's what we're trying to figure out, Detective Liu said, stepping forward now too. Who had access to her car? Who knew her schedule? Who would benefit from her death? Ryan was sweating now. I don't know. Really? Because there's someone who fits all those criteria. Someone who had access to her car every night. Someone who knew she'd be driving that highway. Someone who stands to collect millions in insurance money. You think I did this? Ryan's voice cracked. That's insane. Is it? Sanchez said. Because we have witnesses who say you've been having an affair with Victoria Chen. We have evidence you've been planning to withdraw life support. And we have reason to believe you know exactly how those brake lines got cut. I want a lawyer. That's your right, Liu said. But before you go, there's something you should know. Dr. Okoye stepped forward. Mr. Pierce, I lied to you. Your wife isn't in a vegetative state. She has locked-in syndrome. She's been fully conscious this entire time. Ryan's face went from pale to gray. What? She's been awake, Dr. Okoye continued. She can hear everything, understand everything. She just can't move or speak, but she can communicate. And she's told us everything she heard you and Victoria Chen say in this room over the past 2 weeks. That's impossible, Ryan whispered. She can't. We also have this, Sanchez said, pulling out his phone. He played the recording. I had it done. Found a guy who owed me a favor. He weakened the brake lines just enough that they'd fail under pressure. Ryan's face crumpled as he heard his own voice confess. Where did you... Your wife had help recording it, Liu said. Turns out you shouldn't confess to murder when you're standing over someone you think is unconscious. Ryan looked at me then, really looked at me, and I let him see it. Let my eyes track his face. Let him understand I'd been aware for every moment, heard every word, knew every detail of his betrayal. Diana, he breathed. You've been awake? I blinked once. Yes. Oh, God, Diana, I can explain. Ryan Pierce, Detective Sanchez said, pulling out handcuffs. You're under arrest for attempted murder. As they read him his Miranda rights, Ryan kept staring at me, tears streaming down his face. It wasn't supposed to be like this, he said. You weren't supposed to suffer. It was supposed to be quick. Please, Diana, you have to understand. Mr. Pierce, stop talking, Liu said sharply, but Ryan couldn't stop. I did love you, I did, but things changed. Victoria and I just fit, and I couldn't afford a divorce. The business was underwater. I needed the insurance money. I needed to start over. Please try to understand. They dragged him out, still talking, still trying to justify attempted murder. Kate rushed back in. The moment they took him away, crying and laughing at the same time. You did it, she said. Sarah, you did it. He confessed. It's over. One blink. Yes, it was over. That was 18 months ago. Victoria was arrested as an accomplice. The forensics confirmed the brake lines had been deliberately cut. The mechanic Ryan hired testified against him for a reduced sentence. The evidence was overwhelming. Ryan's trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified via video link from my rehab center, using a computer that tracked my eye movements to type. I told the jury everything, every moment of consciousness while paralyzed, every cruel word, every betrayal, every second of terror when I thought he'd succeed in killing me. The courtroom was silent when I finished. Several jurors were crying. Ryan stared at the table, unable to look at me. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty. Attempted first-degree murder. Insurance fraud, conspiracy, life in prison, no parole for 25 years. Victoria got 8 years as an accomplice. I was in the courtroom for sentencing, in my wheelchair with Kate beside me. When the judge read the sentence, I felt a weight lift that I'd been carrying for months. As they led Ryan away in shackles, he looked at me one last time, opened his mouth like he wanted to say something. But what could he say? What words could possibly matter now? I looked him in the eye, and with enormous effort, I lifted my right hand and gave him the middle finger. I'm writing this from my apartment in Fremont. I've recovered more than doctors ever expected. I can walk with a cane. I can speak, though my voice is still slightly slurred. I can use my hands well enough to type this story. I'll never be 100% again. But I'm alive. I went back to teaching last fall, part-time at first, but now I'm full-time. My students threw me a welcome back party. They made cards and told me how inspiring I was. I didn't feel inspiring. I just felt grateful to be alive. I've been in therapy, working through everything, the betrayal, the attempted murder, the 2 weeks of listening to my husband plan my death. Some days are harder than others, but I'm healing. The divorce was finalized last year. I got everything. The house, the assets, everything Ryan tried to steal from me. I sold the house, bought this smaller place, started over. Grace, the nurse who saved my life? We're best friends now. She visits every week. She's the reason I'm alive. If she hadn't noticed my tears, hadn't believed me, hadn't recorded Ryan's confession, I'd be dead. Ryan would have withdrawn life support, and no one would have ever known it was murder. People ask if I'm angry, if I hate Ryan. I don't know. Hate is exhausting. Rage is exhausting. What Ryan did was unforgivable. He tried to murder me for money. He stood over my hospital bed and planned my funeral while I lay there conscious and aware. But he doesn't get to define the rest of my life. I'm more than what he did to me. I'm Diana Pierce. I'm a teacher, a sister, a daughter, a friend, a survivor, and I'm alive despite his best efforts. To anyone reading this, trust your instincts about people. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't ignore red flags because you want to believe the best in someone. Your life is valuable. You deserve to be safe. You deserve to be loved. And if you're trapped in something similar, you're not alone. There are people who will believe you, who will help you, who will fight for you. I survived because one nurse took the time to see me, to really see me, to believe I was still in there, still fighting. We all have the power to be that person for someone else. Use it. It might save a life. As for me, I'm building a new life. I'm dating a fellow teacher who's kind and patient and nothing like Ryan. I'm traveling. I went to Thailand last summer, the place Ryan and Victoria had planned to visit with my insurance money. I scattered ashes of my old life there and let the ocean take them. I'm not the same person I was before the accident. How could I be? But I'm free, I'm alive, and every day I wake up is a victory. Ryan wanted me dead, but I'm still here, still breathing, still fighting, still living. That's my revenge, not hatred. Not wishing him harm in prison, just living, thriving, being happy despite him. They say living well is the best revenge. I plan to prove it. To Ryan, if you ever somehow read this from whatever cell you're in, I hope you know that you failed. I hope every day reminds you that I'm out here living my best life while you're trapped behind bars. I hope the other inmates know what you did. I hope you have decades to think about how your greed cost you everything. Every happy moment I have is proof you didn't win. Every breath I take is evidence you didn't break me. You just made me stronger. And to everyone else, I'm Diana Pierce, and I'm alive.